Well, hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. All right, I guess they're getting old enough. Tony at R&W Farmstead, his chickens have started laying, and they're only about 4.5 months old. And I got a little bitty egg today. It was a dark brown egg, but I got a little bitty egg today. Looks like a first egg for a hen. So hopefully, whichever ones are hens are starting to get ready to start laying anyway. But other than that, I still got 12 or 13 from the adults today. But I did go ahead and fill up their feeders and all that. And I told y'all I bought some straw, and I think it's called wheat straw. I'm not sure. But either way, it's the cheap stuff. It's not what I've been normally getting, and I prefer the other stuff. It's a lot more flexible, but they seem to enjoy bedding on it. Every egg but one was on the straw in the nesting boxes today. So I'm pleased with that. And the young chickens have figured out they can jump up on top of the tree stump there, where I cut the pear tree down. And some of them jump up to the next level up. So I don't know if that means they're going to be a rooster or a hen. I don't have a clue, but those two look like hens. The ones that look like rooster normally been jumping up there, but that'd be the daddy, and he's a big bad boy, so I don't think he's worried about them. But anyway, I just got back from a ride. I took the bike for a ride, and basically I'm clocking, first of all, how fast I go and how far I go, because it tracks your distance and your actual path. And I took it back down to the other end of the dirt road, because I live off of a T off of another dirt road. So I took it back down to there and went to the other direction, and there's only one house that way within probably 3 miles, and it's right at the end of the dirt road, on the paved road, but at the end of the dirt road. So I took it that way and clocked it back, and it's about 3.3 miles, so 1.6 to 1.7 miles from here to the end of the dirt road on that one, and it's about 1.8 to the opposite end of that. So it's a 3-way road, so I've still got to clock it and go down this way, which is where the other houses and people live at that end. I haven't done that yet, and I probably will. But I don't like riding where everybody lives. But I sure did get some looks out of a couple trucks when I was riding today. But anyway, I'm going to show y'all. I have just about decided that I'm definitely not going to use the generator for the light. And I don't like this bracket the way it will not stay tight. So unless I drill all the way through and put a bolt with a nut on it that I can tighten down, it doesn't stay. I tightened it up before I went riding, and look how loose it is. So I got to figure out another way to mount that light. And from past experience, I know you want it as far away from that fender well or that luggage rack as possible, so you don't get glare off of it. So I've got to figure out another way to mount that light. But I'm definitely not going to use the generator head that spins off the side of the tire. One is, if your tires get wet, it doesn't want to spin. Secondly, it's a pain in the butt. So we sell rechargeable batteries for like exit signs and emergency backup lights and stuff at where I work. And I'm going to get one, and I'm going to figure out how I can mount one up under here. It's 6 volts, and it's a 4 amp hour battery. So it fits in the palm of your hand, basically. It's smaller than my hand. And then I'm just going to put a switch on it to where I can turn it on or off anytime I want to and have that tail light. Look, there's another one of the adult hens is jumping up on the stump now. They're learning. Let's see if I can zoom in there. Which is fine with me. No need for me to go in and cut them stumps down anymore. I keep cutting the shoots that grow off of it off. But I guess they're seeing who's king of the hill. But all right, so back to the bike. I am very pleased with it. Got it up to 35 miles an hour today because there's one hill that direction that's a little bit steeper downhill than the other route. And it got it up to 35. I wasn't trying to see how fast I could go either, so I might have got a little bit more out of it. But I'm still not pleased with the adjustment on the brakes as far as the alignment. The back brakes and the front brakes both scrub just a little tiny bit. And I'm sure that's costing me a mile or two an hour on speed. But it does pretty well. It does not have a whole lot of power because it is a go-kart style clutch on there, the centrifugal clutch. So I would imagine you're going to have to help it get started with pedaling when you're pulling this wagon and have any kind of weight in it, such as grandchildren or supplies when crap hits the fan. So that's, you know, one negative, but you don't have to pedal a whole lot. You just get it started and it'll go on and go. So it takes off completely by itself. You don't have to pedal, but it takes a little while to get up speed, probably 1/8 of a mile or so, and maybe even 1/4 if you wanted to get it to wide open. But you can help it pedal and get up to wide open speed a lot quicker than that. But I just leave it in 4th gear. But either way, and it's not hard to pedal that way. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I did go ahead and pull the last squash plant. I had 3 more squash that were growing on it. And like I say, the wind pretty much blew it completely out of the pot. So it was dying on me. And I just threw it out in the yard. I'll mulch it up with the mower eventually. I'm liking this cooler weather. But there's a, well, I said last watermelon. Look, there's another one growing. Dadgummit. I wasn't planning on growing any more watermelons. But there's 2 more. I don't know how many more is on these vines. It seems like every time I look, I find another one. I will not be planting watermelons in the raised beds anymore. Well, there's another one right there. So there's 3. Goodness gracious. The roses are all dying off again. They'll come back. Oh, there's another 4th one right there growing. The bees are pollinating them well, I can tell you that. But I wasn't planning on growing any more watermelon. But I got home from work today. We've been trying to work on the inventory at the place where I work, and I've been staring at a computer screen pretty much 90-95% of my day today, doing my normal job duties and the inventory stuff. And basically I just needed some fresh air and to uncross my eyes from staring at that thing all day. So I decided I'd come home and took care of the chickens and ate some supper and decided I'd ride the bike for a little bit. And if anybody's interested, 3.3 miles, and that's me stopping at an intersection, or almost stopping at the end of the dirt road, turn around, come back. And I sat there to check my mileage. So completely stopped, turn around, come back, make the turn, come back down to my house, and stopped in the yard. And that took me 10 minutes. So, you know, 3 1/3 miles, you could have easily done 3 1/2, maybe 3 3/4 miles if you were running wide open in 10 minutes. That's pretty doggone good, y'all. I mean, if you compared that to walking, if you had to walk, that's not moving bad at all. And I looked at a trike, a 3-wheel bicycle, the other day online that's electric. And they want basically the same price that I paid for my bike for that. And the max speed on that thing was 12 to 15 miles an hour, 12 to 14 really. And you only got about 15 to 20 miles out of one charge. So if I had to ride it to town, I couldn't get back without charging it back up, because I'm about 12, 13 miles from town. So I couldn't ride it to town and back. So that electric bike would not do my needs out here. But if I had to ride that gas-powered bike, it'll easily go back and forth to town multiple times on one tank of gas. And I mean multiple as in probably 5, maybe 6 or 7. So it'll go back and forth multiple times, and that's good. It gets really good gas mileage. I filled it up when I first got the bike put together before I rode it, and I filled it to the rim. It's supposed to hold 3/4 of a gallon. And then the other day I put about a quart in it and just about filled it back up. So I have used less than half a gallon, and I've rode that thing with my nephew riding it last weekend and such. I probably rode it 25 or 30 miles because he went the long way to the end of the road and back. And he rode it several times. So that thing gets really, really good gas mileage. And considering you're not having to walk on that long distance, I'm enjoying the mess out of it. But help it pedal, get a little bit of exercise. And if I get too tired, I just ride off the gas power. But y'all look at that. The chickens are doing fantastic, really. I've got a gray hen, one of my Easter eggers. You see her in the corner over there. That's where they like to dust bathe, but the leaves are blown in. She's had a foot that's got a little bit of a knot on it, but she does walk on it. She just limps a little bit. She's been that way for over a week now. And I've been planning on coming out at night and getting her and take a look at that foot. But I can see the knot with her walking. So it does not look like the staph or whatever that my other chicken had. It looks like maybe she got a thorn or something in it, and it just got infected a little bit, and she's going to be okay. But eventually I do plan on getting her and take a look at it, and if I can do anything with it, you know, clean that wound up a little bit and spray some of that purple spray on there to help medicate it and help her get better. But she's still laying eggs. She's still doing well. So it's not that big of an emergency. But I like to see, when it's hard for y'all to tell, but I like to stand here and look and see the way the chickens have just spread out over that entire yard, and including in here and up there. They're not grouped up into a little clump like they're scared to do anything. That tells me my chickens are very happy. They know that they're safe, and I'm getting plenty of eggs for taking care of them. So anyway, guys, I know I rambled on a little bit, but if you are considering buying you a electric bike or a gas-powered bicycle like I did, guys, I don't think you can go wrong with this Phatmoto bike. I'm not sponsored by them at all. They don't even know I exist other than I bought a bike from them. But I'm really, really enjoying it. It has surprised me. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on people that's got 2-stroke motors on their bikes. You can buy them in kits and put them on. And those things run. There's a channel, I don't know anybody that follows it, but it's called Project Farm. He tests all kinds of stuff. He compared 2-stroke bicycle and a 4-stroke bicycle, and he got the same speed out of both, set up the same way. And to me, I'd rather have a 4-stroke that I don't have to worry about mixing oil with. But man, I am just thrilled with this thing. It is fun to ride. I'm still going to get me a big boy seat for back here, but it's not too bad if you're just riding and not, you know, working too hard on it. And it's got this metal cage over the exhaust, and after we've been riding it for a while, I can lay my hand on it, so it does protect your leg pretty doggone good. I don't have to worry about my grand youngins or myself or anybody getting burned on it. And you can see where the red dirt's coming up sticking on this thing. So probably wouldn't hurt to wash it, but then I'd have to spray it down with some kind of oil because I don't want it to rust. But anyway, still got garden work to do. I guess I'm going to let the watermelons see what they do and may end up giving them to the chickens. But guys, I appreciate y'all watching my videos. I did get those blocks put out there around my mulberry tree, and I did the same thing up at the one at the front. Let's see if I can zoom in far enough. Yep, for y'all to see that. Anyway, I got blocks around it to hopefully keep my friends and family that drive through the yard from running over my dead burn trees. And I have not been watering this one at all. We got quite a bit of water for about 2 weeks after I first planted it. Plus I was watering it. I haven't done any watering since. And part of it has died back, but there's a lot of new growth on it. So I'm really pleased with this mulberry tree. It seemed to be doing well. And this was a limb that broke off of it, and I just stuck it down in the dirt with the rest of it. And look, the tops died, but there's new growth on the bottom. So apparently it's taking roots as well. And I'll end up pulling that one up and replanting it somewhere else and have 3 trees. So I'm pleased with it. Mulberry tree is my all-around favorite tree. You can eat the berries, you can make jams and jellies out of it. You can make juice out of it, you know, because they're so sweet. So I'm very pleased. Look at there. The honeybee hive has gotten quite a bit bigger since he added that middle box. I believe he added a gray one. I'm not sure, but I don't remember having 2 of the big boxes. I had a big and a little. Now I've got 2 big boxes and a little one on top. So the honeybees are doing very, very well. I've had 3 hives here before from a friend of mine that did honeybees that used to work with me. And they never stayed more than a month or 2 and they'd swarm and leave. I mean, they wouldn't be a bee left. So I was really not really excited about having another honeybee hive because I didn't want him to lose his hive. But he brought a hive here that he caught that had swarmed from somewhere else. And that hive is thriving here so far. And I'm probably going to put a jar of sugar water, you know, on it to help feed them during the winter months. But I'm going to have to get with him. He told me there was a hole in the top, so I don't know. But I'm going to have to get with him on how I do that as far as feeding them, because I do not want them to struggle during the winter. I do need to get them fed, so they've got plenty of food right now. There's still a lot of plants around that are blooming, but we're going into fall, so we all know before winter hits they're going to need help, and I'm going to have to get with him about doing that. Guys, thank y'all for watching my videos, hitting the thumbs up, subscribing to the channel. It means the world to me. My channel's about 4 years old, and you see I'm not some big thousands and thousands of subscribers channel. I do what I want to do. I enjoy trying to homestead a little bit by myself and raise my chickens and the turkeys when I had them. And I plan on getting either goats or pigs or something if I ever finish the fence where I started putting the post up. I've got the fencing. I just need the hinges for my gates, and I need to get more nails to nail the fencing up, which I do have some, and get the other posts put up so I can start stretching that fence out. But I'm really waiting on winter time for that, just for the simple fact that the weeds are die back a little bit. So thank y'all very much. Remember what I always tell you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.